What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Heavy on Hoops basketball channel where we cover everything WNBA basketball, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button because WNBA season is going crazy early on. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm really enjoying watching this Las Vegas Aces team early on. And it's like, I don't want to sit here and sound like a homer, but if I'm being honest, I don't know who's stopping them. I don't know who's stopping them right now, because a few weeks ago, I had a really big question. I did not know if the Aces were going to be thrown off chemistry-wise because of the guards that they brought in. Particularly, I'm talking about Chennedy Carter. But now that conversation is completely different because the Aces a few days ago beat an undefeated Atlanta Dream team, and Chennedy Carter is all of a sudden looking like one of the you know what? No, I take that back. Not one of the steals. She is looking like the steal of the WNBA season so far. And somehow this team may be more dangerous offensively than any other Las Vegas Aces team that there has ever been. And that sounds insane considering, how good they've been in the past, because they've obviously had some all-stars in De'Erica Hamby and Kelsey Plum. But there is a chance that this Aces team coming up this season could be more dangerous than any other team in the past. So the reason I say that is we got A'ja Wilson and Chelsea Gray, where everything flowed through them last season. And don't get me wrong, they obviously got a championship out of it, and they handily handled the Phoenix Mercury. I don't think the Mercury really matched up well with them. And they really had good structured half-court execution. And while that system was elite, there were nights where their perimeter pressure just wasn't dynamic enough. And honestly, I felt like that's always how teams kind of were able to stay in the game against the Aces, because the perimeter pressure has just kind of been, I don't want to say bad, but subpar. They didn't really have a lot of offense really coming outside of, Chelsea Gray going off. But Chelsea Gray's main thing is her setting the table for everybody else. And she can score. She can knock down big shots. But as far as getting easy baskets from your perimeter players, that is something that the Aces just didn't really have over the past couple years, especially since losing Kelsey Plum. But now that they have Chennedy Carter, who I made a video about roughly a month ago or so, it has changed everything. Because Chennedy Carter has come in. This is no longer just a comeback story. This is literally one of the biggest stories in the WNBA, because right now, off the bench, Chennedy Carter is averaging about 20 points per game on crazy efficiency. And the crazy part is she doesn't even have to carry the offense. So it's a very different situation from her from Atlanta and Los Angeles and Chicago. Her talent's always been obvious, but there were always these questions about, does she fit? Is she consistent enough? Can she accept her role? Can she thrive in structure? But now she's playing next to A'ja Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and other vets who kind of stabilize the game. And for the first time, it really feels like Chennedy Carter can just do what she does best and just simply attack. And I got to see it up close and personal against the Atlanta Dream. Whenever Chennedy Carter decided to get downhill, she pretty much got whatever she wanted every time she wanted. There was nobody on the Atlanta Dream that could really stay in front of her. I can't tell you how many fans I just heard at the game screaming out loud, like, how in the world did they let the Aces get her? Or even, don't let her touch the ball. Do not let her get the ball. So the Aces have Chennedy Carter, who's now with her speed just completely blitzing defenses. Again, something that they've never really had before from a ball handling penetrator. And now defenders have to collapse into the paint. They gotta help earlier. They gotta rotate. And all of this benefits A'ja Wilson, who kind of gets lost in the story, who's still the best player in the WNBA. She's still averaging 25 points per game. She's tied for first as of right now, tied with Alicia Gray from the Atlanta Dream for first in the WNBA in points per game still. She's still an elite defender. She's still the team's emotional leader. At this point, I really don't see any other teams that I think right now, maybe outside of New York, that are playing as well as the Las Vegas Aces right now. She's still the best player in the world. And I promise I'm not really trying to sound like I'm not trying to sound like a homer here, guys, but I don't see how any team really matches up with them. I heard a couple people talk about Jewell Loyd, like, hey, do you expect Jewell Loyd to step up this year and maybe find a more prominent part in the offense? And I say no. I think as long as Jewell Loyd stays with the Las Vegas Aces, she's going to be relegated to being a high-level role player. She's going to be doing exactly what she's been doing since last year, and that's going to be spotting up in the corner. Because the way that this offense rolls and flows right now, Jewell Loyd can hoop, but there's not any room for the inefficient type of offense that she played before when she was in Seattle, averaging around 20 points a game. There's no room for that. They got a player in A'ja Wilson who's all about efficiency. They have the perfect table maker in Chelsea Gray. They got the all-around glue player in Jackie Wilson. And now they have Chennedy Carter, explosive scorer, debatably the best guard scorer in the WNBA, guys. It's like I'm going there. She's coming off the bench. It may sound crazy right now, but I'm like, don't be surprised if somehow coming off the bench, Chennedy Carter ends up as an all-star. At this point, I'm like, don't be surprised if you mess around and see Chennedy Carter even potentially end up on an all-WNBA team if she keeps up this level of play. Because we got to ask a legit question. Is she actually better than a lot of these other guards that are stars on other teams? Is she better than Kelsey Plum? Is she better than Kelsey Mitchell? Is she better than Paige Beckers? She's playing in a system where she has to honor the other players. But she's showing right now that within a structured offense, she can dominate. So I think that the game against the Atlanta Dream, even though it's early in the season, they were missing Ryan Howard, they were missing Brianna Jones. But this is one of those games that was still a statement win. They won it at the buzzer, but it was still a statement win, showing the difference between teams that are favorites and teams that are real true contenders for a championship. They showed that they have that it factor. They showed that they have that winning factor. They got the star power, the structure. And now they have a level of shot creation that they just have never had before. And so I think with all this talent, I think the Aces actually have a chance to be better than last season. And they have to early on. They are definitely looking like early on favorites to be in title contention. But that's my video, guys. Tell me what you think. Am I kind of wilding out? Am I tripping? Am I celebrating too soon on behalf of the Aces? Because I mean, we're only 4, 5, 6 games into the season. So I do understand there is a lot that could change. A lot of teams still have to find their way. I still think New York is dangerous. I still think Atlanta is dangerous. Even though they lost that game to the Aces by 1 point, they battled back from 20 down without 2 of their key players. Angel Reese didn't have the best night either. The Aces are going to have some competition, but right now they look like the early on favorites for sure. But tell me what you guys think. Heavy on Hoops, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.